Hi, I'm Colette here today on Witch Ways, and I'm going to talk about the dark moon and my favorite 5 practices to do at dark moon. I'm really enjoying the questions and comments, so add them below, and I hope you enjoy today's video. Dark moon magic is done during the time period that is 24 to 48 hours before the moon turns to new. It is a time of mystery, of unraveling, of the ebbing life tide, and the time when it is easiest to communicate with the underworld. Divination work is a classic kind of magic to be done at dark moon, and so you can use tarot, oracle cards, runes, the Ogham, or any other form of divination that you choose. I like to do a 3-card reading, and that could be done either for assessing the past moon cycle or looking forwards to the upcoming one. And so the first card I pick is what I brought to the cycle or what I'm bringing to the new. The second card is what I have to work with, what's going on. And the third card is what I moved towards or what I am moving towards in the upcoming cycle, depending on whether I did it to evaluate the past cycle or the upcoming cycle. Dream work is particularly powerful at liminal times like the full moon and at the dark moon. To enhance your dream work, you can hang a charm filled with dried mugwort powder or a sprig of mugwort hung near your bed, or make a dream pillow. Any of these techniques will work. If you want to repel nightmares, you can hang a charm with dried agrimony leaf in it, particularly if the nightmares are about things that are external to you, external circumstances. And in general, to protect and guard your dreams, you can hang angelica, either a sprig of it if you grow it, or dried herb in a charm bag. You can also ask a specific question before you go to sleep and ask for a dream about it at dark moon or full moon. There's a couple of ways to do that. One is that you can imagine your question floating out, surrounded by a protective circle, to any beneficial beings or beings who have your best interest at heart, or if you have specific guides you work with. A lot of people don't, and if you don't, that's fine. But if you have them and you want to ask specific beings, you can send it to them. The other thing that you can do, instead of just picturing this, if you're unsure of that technique, is to just draw a picture of it. Write down your question, put a circle around it, write around it in a ring to the attention of benevolent beings who have my best interest at heart, and then lay that down next to your bed and just visualize it as you fall asleep, hoping for an answer to the question, and then see what your dreams are like. Another major form of dark moon magic is any kind of releasing work that you do. Banishing, that I talked about last week, is included within that category of releasing, but releasing is a broader term and includes more things. Dark moon can be a good time to clear your space, yourself, or your ritual and magical tools. It can also be a really good time to clear your altars of any magic that you're finished with and is done. And it might be a time that you want to redo your altars, or just clean them and clear them and give them a little attention in general. It's also a good time to review the past moon cycle and just look at what worked for you, what didn't work, assess anything more deeply that's not working, and also look at finding things to release that are not yours to keep, like the minor expectations, judgments, reactions that you receive from others that you don't feel are yours to hang on to once you've listened and learned from them. Or maybe releasing your own minor irritations and grudges that have built up over the past month. So the three main ways that I do releasing magically is if it's something that I personally am carrying or I feel like it's in my energy field, I will take a salt bath or a salt scrub in a shower if I don't have a bathtub handy. You can, of course, have herbs in that salt scrub. You can also burn herbs, any herbs that are good for clearing. And there's a lot of videos out there. I know I have one on clearing herbs. You also can do a simple spell of intention. To do that, if you are comfortable casting a circle, go ahead and do that. If not, just hold the vision of earth and sky protecting you. And then say to yourself out loud 3 times the thing that you want to release, making up some kind of simple phrase like, I release the thing that you want to release. And say that 3 times. And then afterwards, you can say, by the power of 3 times 3, as I will it, so mote it be. Go ahead and shower once you've done and taken down the circle or let go of that holding of earth and sky container. And shower, as I mentioned, and then just go about the rest of your day or evening. Another really classic dark moon piece of magic is to create dark moon water. And I talked a couple weeks ago about making full moon water. And I do dark moon water the exact same way, except obviously I do it at dark moon. And I might change the bowl from being a clear bowl that I use on full moon to instead being a dark colored bowl or a black bowl if you have one. But it's fine if you don't have that and you just want to use a clear bowl. Leave it outside overnight and then bring it in and store it. Dark moon water can be used to enhance any releasing work you're doing in a bath. You can use it to enhance any dark moon spells that you're doing or anything of that nature. Another very common type of work that is done for me at dark moon is cutting ties. And you might need to cut ties due to a breakup, or maybe you need to cut ties with a job that you're having a hard time leaving, or a project you're having a hard time leaving, or maybe there's a loss in your life that you are having difficulty accepting. So there's tons of ways to do this, lots of videos out there, but I have a very simple way that I like to do it, and that is to visualize the thing in front of me that I am wanting to cut ties with. And just take a moment to center myself, have my feelings about that, and then speak to the thing that I want to cut ties with and leave behind anything I need to say to feel complete. When that part is done, I take a pair of scissors or a ritual knife and cut the ties that I visualize between me and this thing that I'm cutting away. If it helps you to have something visceral to actually cut, and I think for a lot of people it does, you can have a piece of cloth that you cut and then rip apart or a string and then burn those things afterwards. I also feel like it's important to clear any tools that you used in cutting ties so that they don't retain sort of that kind of cutting away energy in their magic. And the final thing that I like to do at dark moon is what I call composting magic. So composting magic is used when you're finishing something up, a cycle or a project or a life phase that just really, you're just so done with it. Compost takes rotten things and turns them into fertility. And I like the idea of that fertility generating something new and better and generating new life. What you'll need is a dried autumn leaf. I'm about ready to harvest them to keep them around for various spells that I'll use them for throughout the year. You'll need some kind of paint or ink or moon water and something to write on that leaf with. And when you're ready, cast a circle and then write down the thing that you are composting. When you're ready, crumple it up, shred it up, and place it in the hole in the ground, putting the dirt back, and visualize it decomposing and offering new opportunities and new wisdom and new insights as you move forward in your life, and then open the circle. There's a few other things that you might want to work with during dark moon, and most of the things that I mentioned, as well as what I'm going to suggest here, can be worked with at any time. It's just that they are especially tuned in and most powerful during the dark moon time. So one item is that you can start to get to know crone deities. A few examples of crone deities are Hecate, who's a Turkish Greek deity, Baba Yaga, who is Slavic Russian, or Kaede, who is the crone of Celtic tradition. You also can do any kind of work with past lives, remembering them, dreaming about them, journaling about them, trying to learn from them. You can also do automatic journaling around shadow work, working with your own inner shadow and dark side. You can also start to get to know some of the primal underworld forces and underground forces, like the underground rivers and streams, the mycelial net, the roots of the mountains, the tectonic plates. It happens that Samhain season, for those of you who are watching this in real time, is right now, has one of the most strongest dark moon times of the whole year. The second and third most are November and December. Those are both very, very powerful dark moon times during the waning light of the year and when the night is very long. Check out the description below the video for any upcoming classes and programs I have. And thanks for watching, and be well.